Previously, in X-Men, the team has reached Muir Isle, where a host of mutants have taken refuge, yet the reach of the Shadow King cannot be impeded by geographical distance. It is only a matter of time before the effects of his telepathic powers corrupt their minds. And now, Professor Xavier must evade Colossus. I am Jason Lapidus.
And I'm Chris Sanigan.
And we are a group of 7 comics. Welcome to episode 226 of our ongoing and about to come to an end read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic as we read Uncanny X-Men 276 by Chris Claremont and Fabian Nicieza. That doesn't sound right. No. Andy Kubert and Scott Williams, cover date of August 1991. Chris, how are you?
We did it!
We haven't done it yet.
No, but I mean, we have, though. We have. Wow, the end of the Claremont run.
The end of the Claremont run. Let's get into it in a moment, but first, how are you, really?
I'm good. I just feel strange to know that we're the end of this run, at least sequential in the comics. And we've done some mini-series and some other kind of related titles and some mini-series. Anyway, but this, wow. Like, it's interesting because we've been chatting about maybe, let's say, like a decline from our perspective in certain aspects of the comics. And we're finally kind of here, which is interesting.
It is interesting. I agree with you. First, let's say hi to everyone in the chat. Of course, Michael, how you doing? Ali, nice to see you back. Richard, how are you, sir? Nice to see you again in some capacity. Maz, hope you're doing well. You guys are all the best. There are some comments there, of course, about crazy that we're coming to the end of the Claremont run, Ali says, and the end of season 2 of X-Men 97, which we will get into, of course. Richard just says, hello, Merry Mutant fans, as we all are. I'm glad you can be here with us. Maz, hope you're having a good evening as well. Michael wishes us a congratulations. Thank you for undertaking this great idea, sticking with it, and inviting us all for the ride. Hey, man, clearly our pleasure. And I don't want to say you're welcome. Just our pleasure. Go ahead, Chris.
When was the first, you wrote in our Instagram post, when was the first episode? When did it
November?
broadcast?
I almost said November 1991 because these dates.
That's
November of 2021.
So almost 5 years.
Yes.
Wow. And like to think that we get to mark it all by having like our special guest, Chris Claremont, join us for this final episode. It took a while, but he's tied up in the back and we got
Right. Yeah, Ali, you're pointing out that I said it was 1995. I don't know why I thought Wildcats number 1 was 95. I came across something in obviously really haphazard research. So happy to be corrected. I thought it would, from that I thought it took Jim Lee 3 years to get that issue out, but clearly I don't think he was first out of the gate. I think Liefeld might be first out of the gate.
Oh, for an Image
For
comic?
Image, yeah. So I appreciate you giving me a correction there because it did seem weird to me, but so be it. Yeah. Wow. Ali says also that she's hoping for the first 3 issues of the adjective list for exactly the reasons that I said, but also understand it not being part of this for all the reasons that I said. That's funny. Yeah. We will look at them. Like they will get on screen. We will, I think, talk about them, but we're definitely not going to be doing the read through. One of the key reasons why is this really is about the Claremont of it all. And we're at this issue now where it's not really Claremont's X-Men at all anymore. He gets a writing credit, but he doesn't do all of the work. And there's something to, I don't know, there's something to talk about here. And we'll get into it, of course, as we get into it. But what were you going to say, Chris? Please.
Well, I was going to say that we're not ending. We like to humor ourselves and keep this thing going. So we'll be around. So we're not sure. We got some things we want to take care of.
Maybe. So, hope you're well. I miss you. Let's just talk about this for a minute. Elsewhen. So I did get the book. I've looked at the first little bit of it. I mean, I've read a lot of it before already in pencils. I found it really hard to get through with the colors. Just saying, and I found my motivation was gone. I might have just hit the wrong moment in my cycle of the day, and I didn't really want to read it. But if we're going to share it and talk about it on this channel, we need a digital copy. I need to be able to like show it here in some fashion without it being a full-time job to crop, or photograph and crop or scan and crop all the pages and set it up for everybody else. So if a digital version of it falls into our laps, that's what we would share, as opposed to making a ton of work. Because one of the tenets of this show was we're not practicing. Like, we're not setting up an elaborate live stream. We're just gonna kind of go off the cuff and read what's in front of us. And we had access to we still have the DVD-ROM of X-Men from 1963 to I think it's 2004,
something like that. Yeah,
and it's all on DVD-ROM scans of the original comics. So it wasn't like we had to go out and get these things. It was in my collection to begin with, and I have a couple others on the shelf back there of these digital things. So it had to be a project that allowed us to not have to do homework for the most part. But I would say, like, it's become sometimes to get these episodes ready, it's like a couple hours of getting pictures. And I mean, today I read 5 comics I didn't want to read for this. And I don't want to do that. That's not fun. Okay. Chip says, but seriously, I do have the uncolored PDFs. I have the unpenciled. I have the penciled, the full scans of that whole thing. But yeah, I don't want to. If we're going to look at it, we should do the scans, right? We should do the colored. So I don't know. It's on our mind, but like you were saying before, Chris, it's not like we're not done. Without giving more away, I don't mind saying there are some lingering episodes for X-Men, for previous than X-Men, including we're going to take a couple episodes to read through God Loves, Man Kills. We're going to have a few canned episodes, like pre-recorded ones. I know that you and I are both going to be on secret missions and not able to do a few Tuesday nights.
Across Canada. That's right.
Yeah. So next week, for instance, spoilers, there'll be a canned episode talking about X-Men 97. And then there's going to be an episode simply talking about that print on my wall right there. A whole episode just about that one image and its different iterations and its origins and all that stuff. What else? There's other X-Men stuff coming, but then there'll be a transition of some kind, something new, which you and I, Chris, we've talked about, and we'll when it's time to
a metamorphosis, if you will,
maybe like a molting,
like from a cocoon.
Or a sack.
Sack.
I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll talk. Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you two coming to the Guelph Comics Jam? You try and stop us. You don't got no connections. You can't stop us.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
That's funny you mentioned that. So we can. That's like a segue here into hey. Head to group7comics.ca to check out our books. There you can find Group of 7, A Most Secret Tale, and Peregrine's Flights, Fiends, and Fisticuffs, both print and digital formats. And subscribe to our newsletter. You can find out where we'll be next, including the Guelph Comics Jam. I'll skip to that. There you go. But first, we're going to Winnipeg, Manitoba, to the Prairie Comics Festival, the first week of September, which is only a few weeks away, Chris.
I know.
Yeah,
I keep trying to add more songs to our car playlist, and I just end up with the same Guess Who tracks over and over and over again.
I'm a pretty big fan of the Guess Who, so that should be good. And then later in the month, in September, September 26th, we will be, of course, at the Guelph Comics Jam, where I'm hoping to get a big hug from Chip Mosher. Like that's why I'm.
It's a good reason.
That's what I'm there for.
It's a good reason to go.
Yeah, he's been a highlight the last 2 years that I've been there. I think 2 or 3. It's been a real joy. And then, of course, November, you and I are headed across the pond.
Yeah. They don't know. They don't even know what's coming. Like England is going to be like, "What are these two guys doing? What is going on here?"
Well, to quote Scott Chandler
Yeah.
about
Hey,
"Hey comics, we're
hey,
here." Like,
hey, Colin.
yeah,
Hey, England, we're here. Get
we're
ready.
here. Let's
Get ready
just
for
get into
this.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. So today, Chris, the things we're going to be talking about, we got to talk about Avengers Doomsday
Sure.
and other MCU stuff.
Yep.
We got to talk about the season finale of season 2 of X-Men 97.
Yep.
Then we're going to read through Uncanny X-Men 279, the last Chris Claremont
Yes.
issue in the run.
Yes.
And then I'm going to talk to you and share with you X Factor, whatever it is, X-Men, whatever that is, and X Factor, whatever that is. Because I've just stopped caring about what they are because I aged out, and then I've aged out again at 51.
Yeah. Although that last cover, X Factor.
Hey, I know. Mike Mignola, that's pretty special stuff.
And it,
Chip
it
says,
wouldn't
remind
be-
me about Thought Bubble.
Okay.
I wonder what that means.
I
Like
don't know.
right now? Or when we
Maybe-
speak again?
Maybe when we speak again.
All right, we'll remind you in September. Look at that big gap in October. Perfect time to come down to Philly and check out
Check out Wawa.
get a hoagie, go to a Flyers game. Yeah, I mean, heading to the States sometime sounds fun. We'll see. We'll get there when we
That all
can.
sounds quite nice.
Oh yeah, please, Chris.
What was I going to say? No, I've forgotten. Well, no. Yeah.
All right.
No, I forgot now. I forgot. Oh, no, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say it wouldn't be an episode that we're recording without my dogs barking in the background at the exact time that we've gone live, because they would like to make sure that they're part of the final episode of the Claremont run.
Yes, let's want to talk about that, just the scope of it for a minute.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, we've been going, like I said before, since November of 2021. It was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
We were looking for an additional way to sort of keep in touch and do something comics related and something fan related. Mm-hmm. And the opportunity came up to do something like this. And we had joked around about a few different ideas. Some of them will still come to pass, which is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. And this Claremont thing. So he jumps on, he's working at Marvel in the 70s. And I think he comes on as like an intern out of university. And he's kind of working alongside Len Wein. I have to play with my box while I talk.
Do it.
I need to fidget with my hands. I need one more arm for this thing. I'm Nigel. You better hook me up, buddy. All right.
It's coming.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's working with Len Wein, who is taking on the assignment of rebooting the X-Men for 1975. And there's that idea of, the international team. So although in the credits of Giant Size X-Men #1 in April, I think comes out April of 75, Claremont is not credited, but in later interviews, I think it's talked about that he helped talk it out with Len Wein. Like he was kind of part of Len Wein's office chat about the plot of that issue. And in hindsight, takes some creative, I mean, not for the money and not for, proving anyone wrong, but just for the sake of transparency. Like he's part of the soup that puts that plot together. And then Len Wein does the work, writes the script, of course, and submits it and all that stuff. And then Claremont comes on as co-writer for issue 94, which is the next monthly issue. So it's sort of like Len Wein has, his intern as kind of his buddy, sidekick for the first thing they work on. The second one, they take both writing credits. And then for issue 95, it's Claremont's on. So he's on from 75 all the way to 1991, 16 years. And this is sort of, I think, the thing that is part of like my emotions to this. And I don't know, obviously people are going to take a different approach because everyone comes on at a different time, including Chip, who's, I think was reading a couple of years before me, and other people who are reading after me, and, whatever it is. When I started reading X-Men, it felt like it was Claremont's book. Just that it's his story that he's telling, and he has collaborators. But that creatively it was proprietary. Just like if you're reading an indie comic and it's a title that it's only ever had one creator or team of creators. This idea that once he leaves, it's no longer X-Men. It's now people filling a job. Like, imagine, Chris, you can pick the band. Go ahead. You just for the sake of my little experiment here,
Oh,
pick a band.
Wilco.
Okay, so Wilco. Jeff Tweedy is the creative center of this band. You did that just to set me up. You're such a jerk.
Did.
If Tweedy leaves and someone else takes his spot as lead singer and main songwriter, and they keep the name Wilco, it's just, for a lot of people, it won't be Wilco anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different band. Why would you even keep the same name? And if you do keep the same name for brand reasons, I get it. You know, maybe it's part of the sales of it all. But it's one of the only comics, by the time we get to the mid-70s, it's one of the only original Kirby and Lee series that never peaked during Kirby and Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think anyone cites the first 5 issues as the best 5 issues. It's anything that Claremont had his hands on were when that series took on a life of its own. And which is why we explored it in this show, is because everything you and I loved, like when the first time you and I met, we talked about the things we liked, and like X-Men came up.
Yeah.
And this is, what, 2000? What have we, anyway, around there.
Something
like the X-Men movies. Yeah, I like that. I like that too.
Yeah.
And those things have Claremont's fingers all over them. So I checked out when, all through the 90s, I never was interested in the comics. Up until I think Grant Morrison came on, and I'd already read Morrison stuff. I was curious about it. The first issue had me laughing. But in terms of it feeling like X-Men and keeping my interest, without Claremont, I don't know. I've said before, for me, it feels like fan fiction, which is fine. Fan fiction can be great. It's not a quality indictment, but it just wasn't something that I really wanted to delve into. Okay, I've ranted for a long time. Please take the.
I think coming to the comics pretty, like a bit of a neophyte for sure. I hadn't really read too many X-Men comics. I mean, you can go back to the number of times over the course of the last 5 years where I've asked, who's that character? What's happening? I don't understand what's going on. You made a reference. What's that? All these things. But I think what has stood out for me in terms of how we've examined and really enjoyed this run. So first of all, that enjoyment is high. Like what a wonderful reading experience. Ups and downs, peaks and valleys, but generally speaking, a blast. So that's great. I also never really I knew people loved X-Men. I didn't really fully appreciate why people loved X-Men. People take different things from it, absolutely, to each their own. But it's clear that the thread of at least the people I was speaking to in terms of the demographics was the Claremont run, basically the X-Men 80s comics. Let's just kind of put it there, right? For general speaking. So that was really cool. And then I think there is a parallel between, or there's a parallel with the comics, like X-Men having a bit of that outsider team nature, attraction to, I don't want to necessarily call it counterculture, but I do think that there is
marginalized.
Sure, there's that, and then
communities.
Like, I think if you're into comics as a kid in the 80s, or even not as a kid, you're just into comics, especially in the 80s. And when you look at like you have a lot of like, and I'm not talking about like independent comics or anything off. I'm talking about mainstream comics. All the heroes and stories, a lot have already been established, right? Like Spider-Man, then Batman, like all these, they're established properties that exist. And while X-Men was already established, it comes into its own and takes it in a completely different direction, which connects with a whole different, I think, audience. And so whether it's like the stories, like again, like some specific storylines, or the team dynamics, or the flavor, the variety of the characters, or the international nature of them, or whatever it happens to be, they're certainly their design as well. It's like not just a story, but their actual design as well. I think it's been really fascinating to see. Like, I understand. Like, I respect it. Not that I didn't respect it, but I really do appreciate it a lot more than I think I did when we started, because I think and then like we flash forward to like X-Men 97 and those two seasons, and how important and special it was to see some elements of those stories brought back and done in a very loving way, where the creators of that show clearly love the source material.
Yeah.
And you see it throughout multiple properties, not just that one, but and certainly with the movies as well, right? Like it's it's I think, again, it resonates. So I think it was like, and I could be wrong here, but like, if anyone is into comics, I'm going to say in the 80s, because I'm just going to put it around the Claremont kind of run, and you were into comics, and maybe it wasn't the coolest thing, but like X-Men was cool. X-Men was like cool comics. Like, does that that's, you know what I mean? Like Wolverine, I mean, it takes a while to get there, but like Wolverine gets real cool in the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of pop culture, in terms of like those, like Iron Man's not cool. Right?
He wasn't.
He's never. Captain America's not cool.
Yeah.
But like Wolverine's freaking cool. Like,
Yeah.
there's a ton of like the amount of Cyclops love that's come out of this, which we joked about at the beginning, but like these characters really, really, really stick around and resonate with people. And I would argue, but without having gone through the deep dive of those other teams and those other, there's something really special about the mix here, and I think we saw as Claremont's, whether it's his own personal vision or his influence on the book, or whether he may have been burned out, who knows, right? Like, but we see when it wanes and turns into kind of a bit more formulaic. Not that it didn't have elements of archetypes before, but I mean, was anyone doing anything like that run? Like,
not at Marvel, and especially not like 15,
Right.
16 years.
Right.
So a couple things, I think it's around issue maybe 233, around there. Whenever it's the fall of the mutants, that's when Louise Simonson leaves.
Right.
And Bob Harris takes over as editor on the book. I think that is like a key moment, because I think he loses a creative partner.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to interviews with Louise Simonson and Innocenti, who was like her assistant for a bit,
Right.
and then becomes an editor on the book. No, pardon me. I think Innocenti leaves then. I think it goes, we have Louise Simonson for Houston, and then Innocenti takes over, I think, maybe right after the Phoenix Saga, maybe. She goes for a long time as his editor, and then so then Innocenti leaves, and Bob Harris takes over as editor, and when you hear the three of them talk about it, Innocenti, Simonson, and Claremont, it sounds like they are spitballing ideas that the two women are kind of keeping him in check and keeping him like tethered and focus on getting stories done. And then once he knows what he's going to do, he goes off and writes, these scripts that have resonated for decades. But I think having either one or both of Innocenti or Louise Simonson around as a sounding board was really, really great for us as readers and him as a creator. So losing that, I think it probably started to he started to get a sense that he was going to lose proprietorship over the X-Men office at large.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it became a bit of a financial juggernaut, and everyone's always trying to kind of get hold of those things and take the reins. And so Harris eventually does that and supplants Claremont with Jim Lee, who then Jim Lee abandons the whole thing. So it's kind of a fun thing to see the narrative behind the narratives.
Yeah.
But back to what you're saying about it being cool. Okay, go with me on another tangent here. So the age of the reader that Stan Lee is targeting in the 60s is very young. They're going after 7, 8, 9-year-olds and soldiers. They were the ones reading in World War II. So they're going after a young reading level.
Right.
Whatever the age of the person is, the reading level is quite young. And it takes a little while before fans start working in comics. There's talk about Roy Thomas, who comes on in the 60s as the kind of the first writer, in addition to Stan Lee, or one of the first writers. And he is a fan of Marvel Comics who's come to now work there. And then you get, Marv Wolfman and Len Wein, and a generation by the end of the 60s of guys who were fans of comics coming to work in comics, and fans of Marvel who are coming to work in comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I think slowly the target audience for the writing goes from being 7, 8, 9 to 9, 10, 11, and 9 to 11, 12, and slowly kind of moves up a little bit by bit. By the time we get to Miller and Alan Moore in 86, putting those books out, it's a completely different kid who they're aiming for. They're not aiming for 7-year-olds anymore. And it shows. And so older people are coming in to pick up comics. Older people are responding to the stories, but also making about X-Men again. A 7-year-old generally isn't worried about feeling disconnected and not belonging in society. But a 13-year-old feels a little disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Things are changing. Fuzzy Bunny tells them there's hair where there wasn't hair before.
Right.
It's a different world. Their identity is being shaped. And so those kinds of existential issues appeal more to a kid who is, again, 12 through 18. And so whenever you hit X-Men, if you're in that spot, it's going to resonate with you more, or just differently, than your love of Batman, or your love of Spider-Man, or whatever character it is. And so I think X-Men really resonates with people that are having that moment of transition between child and adulthood. And it is a magic spot, and it couldn't have happened earlier if they were writing to a younger audience. And if it didn't happen then, we would have missed the whole thing. So it's just a moment where the main readership of Marvel was at the right age for what Claremont was doing. I'm putting that out there.
Yeah, I also and again, I mean, I don't know if this is just overthinking it, but I often I think about again the era, and even if you were into maybe alternative music too, right? If you were, kid in the 80s listening to different things that wasn't mainstream radio, maybe X-Men would also appeal to you. You know what I mean? It just feels like either you came to the books at that time, a number of ways, but one of them might have been because it maybe offered a bit of a counter to the mainstream version of whatever was going on, right?
I want to just go after Chip for a minute and Maz. They're talking about alternative comics. Okay. I think that's awesome, and good to note which comics have gone with the longest runs with single creators. I just want to separate maybe the two for the sake of what's on the newsstand and what's in the comic book store. And the comic book store in the 80s is an awesome thing. I mean, I found them. I'm lucky to be, in Toronto growing up, and there was stores in lots of places. But for most comic readers still, the newsstand was a thing, and the corner store, whether for me, Max Milk or Becker's.
Sure.
Or even the Hasty Market or whatever it was. That's where comics were on the spinner rack. And I think we have to separate how special X-Men on the spinner rack is, and Claremont going 16 years on the spinner rack instead of it being 16 years of the direct market, which in alternative comics, which is much more realistic and still should be celebrated. But there's a reason no one else at Marvel ever did 16 years on a title in that time period. They all left and did something else at some point. So, yeah. Michael says, I would say it goes back to them being mutants, changing, getting their powers at puberty. Nice correlation to the reader, for sure. Yeah. For sure. And the fact that mutants are outcast. That's the other magic sauce. There's the change at puberty, and then what you change into is no longer welcome in society. And that's to me the magic sauce of why it appeals to so many people, especially people who feel marginalized in mainstream culture, just like the X-Men do, right? Yeah. There you go. Chip says, I got into comics because G.I. Joe and bought Life Death off the spinner rack. I hear you. I see you, Jason. Hey man, I bought G.I. Joe off the spinner rack as well. Number 19. That was my first comic. So it's really funny, what these things mean. And when we were all littler, we were happy with like a version of whatever it is, the Super Friends. Like it was just seeing characters with our desire for that power fantasy of having superpowers or
Sure.
having a really fast car. Like that was enough. I just wanted to go down the bat pole and change. Like I just wanted the drama of like appearing strong all of a sudden, the
Mhm.
transformation, turning into the Hulk when I'm fighting my brother. Like that was all I needed. But when I'm 13, I need something very different. And having Wolverine fighting with like who he is on the inside, like, that's great.
Yeah.
It's just it's so much fun. All right. Yeah, I could spend the rest of the time talking about what everyone's saying in the chat. You guys are awesome. Thanks for doing that and continue. Hey, if you're watching this and you haven't already, click like in the video, subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe, and I'm excited to see what's coming next for you and I, Chris,
Totally.
on this show and whatever's coming next. Okay, so let's get into the Avengers Doomsday D23 of it all. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Did you hear about this?
Uh,
Did you see that Hugh Jackman put a little video up?
I saw the. I mean, I heard that he put it up. I didn't watch it. So what's going on?
Well, you don't need to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He basically did a thing where, like, as if Ryan Reynolds is off camera, prompting him to beg Kevin Feige to put them in the movie.
Okay.
So, like, hey, if you need any help, we're both available for Avengers Doomsday.
Right. Gotcha.
And it's a good joke that they're not in the movie. Sure, okay, I believe you. And that so it's got people, of course, speculating again. Are they going to be in it? They're not going to be in it. Do you have a sense, a comment, anything?
I mean, I thought there was. I thought they had confirmed that they're going to be in some upcoming thing. I don't know. Okay.
No, sir. So they announced a huge selection of names, a year ago.
Yeah.
Especially in that trailer where Downey's at the end of a long row of chairs with
Right.
names of the actors. And I've mentioned before some names left out of that. Chris Evans was not there. Tom Holland has yet to be included in any way. Cumberbatch, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds. Maybe those are my big five of people who are not included in the movie.
Okay.
I don't remember if Ruffalo was included either, but he could have been. Feel free to, again, correct me in the chat. But if you're making a giant Marvel crossover, and now looking at it from a comics point of view, and you don't have Wolverine, Spider-Man, Captain America,
Right.
obviously not Iron Man, like it just, those are like your biggest names to include.
Right.
So I wouldn't, and then also the strategy of, do you show all your cards a year in advance?
Exactly.
Right? All you really need to get everyone in is have the name Avengers, and then you need them again. Can you tell them the Russos are doing it? And then you reveal Dr. Doom. Like that's enough. We're all going. So you don't have to tell us Chris Evans is in it until that first teaser.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can save Spidey. You can save Hugh Jackman or whoever till the end. Trevor says he could see them in a credit scene. Are you telling me you don't want to see Hugh Jackman with the X-Men? Like, isn't he in the? I mean, those X-Men are in theory. I don't know which X-Men they
are. That's right.
Are they the ones at the end of Days of Future Past where it's like they're healed and Scott's alive, and you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean.
Anyway.
Oh, I mean, yeah. And then we saw in that D23 trailer that came out. Speaking of the X-verse, Sentinels, like big ass Sentinels,
pulled up by Dr. Doom,
pulled up by Dr. Doom. Yeah. So
I was, when I saw that, I was a little bit dreading the CGI slop of it all. It looked a little, very removed from reality. But in the moment, I'll be just as happy as the next person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping we get some Wolverine in there. I'd like to see him be the main character of the whole thing.
Of course.
Yeah. Who knows? Anyway, should I go on to the next one?
Sure.
All right. Obviously, I'm sorry for the bad resolution in this image. I could not find something as concise as this with any better res. Hey man, they announced the starting cast of the new X-Men movie. It's in my calendar. It's
2028, right? I think May 20
2028.
May 2028.
I want to say it's May 5th, but I've already forgotten. It's in my calendar. I put it in. Um, do you have any reaction to this cast?
I don't know a lot of them, but that's probably just because I don't. I mean, I know some of them, but if they're, I mean, Adam Driver is probably the most recognizable name there.
Adam who?
It's been around for a while, right? You know, Undercover Boss, Kylo Ren on Saturday Night Live, that's actually a pretty funny skit.
Okay, you want to see him doing the funniest thing for me?
Sure.
Have you watched? Oh man, my brain.
But he's the baby.
No, that was good too. So he's a funny SNL
He's a
host.
funny
Like you wouldn't
SNL
think,
host.
but they lean in, they write well for him, and he
Yeah.
just goes.
Yeah.
There is a Coen Brothers movie.
Okay.
That's old man. I'm totally having like a reaction to being Llewyn Davis.
Yes.
Come on, what's that movie called? It's have a longer name than Llewyn Davis, right?
Remembering? No.
Either way.
Anyway.
So there's a scene in Llewyn Davis where he goes to the recording studio for a paid gig to help play his guitar and sing on a track with a character played by Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
And then there's this third singer in the room who's just doing this bass vocal, doing this really odd. The song is sort of it's called Please Mr. Kennedy.
Okay.
You never seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Adam Driver plays this third singer in the room with a good baritone vocal part or bass part, and the song is sort of a reaction to being sent up into space and not wanting to go. So they're saying, "But please, Mr. Kennedy, like I don't want to go. I don't want to go to space." And Adam Driver's character kind of counts down. He's like, or just does these like rocket ship kind of weird. It's a weird like folk novelty song.
Okay.
And just to see the recording session of them doing this novelty song, and Driver's part is hilarious and very, very memorable. And I will send you the clip after, or if you go on a rant at some point, I'll just start searching YouTube and send it to you. Someone else can send it to Chris. You know, find him on social media.
So we got Adam Driver,
who's very funny. All right.
Yes.
The
as
funniest
Mr. Sinister.
Or Mr. Sinister. Shit.
So that's cool. I mean, we haven't seen Mr. Sinister on screen before, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay. So that's a new thing. And then so I mean, I only know Kit Connor from Heartstopper because that's my kids watch Heartstopper and read the graphic novels. So I know he plays one of the main characters. And I know Hugo, is that Hugo Weaving's daughter?
Niece.
Looks like Hugo a little bit.
Well, there's some similarities.
The eyes. Anyway.
One is a little more superficially attractive than the other, I would say.
Hugo it is. Elrond. No, anyway. Okay, so I've seen her in a few movies. But I don't like, and then Sadie Sink, obviously Stranger Things, and then, you know, Spider-Man, Brand New Day. The Rogue, is it Indy?
I haven't heard it pronounced, or at least I haven't been listening. But let's just assume it's Indy.
From the movie Obsession, I think that's because my son has watched it like 3 times. I'm like, oh, I think, your son. Yeah. Okay, so it's clearly like anyway happening in like the teen boy sphere. Anyway, so I told him, I'm like, oh, I think she's Rogue. He's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maya Boyd, I don't know where she's from.
Me neither.
Okay. And I don't know where Christopher Abbott's from.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
Does anyone else know?
Everyone knows. They've seen them all in places. Michael says that he's seen Kit Connor and Christopher Abbott on Broadway.
Ah.
There you go.
Excellent.
And who? Abbott is from, one of them is from Superman and Lois. I don't know which one.
The TV show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though. It's funny because we all, you know, we sometimes fan casted and all did some stuff, and we would always joke about Wizard Magazine doing its fan casting, and for its various movies and stuff back in the 90s. And what I find interesting is like, even though when they announced like the first X-Men movie, I guess we didn't know who Hugh Jackman was. I guess we didn't know. We had a decent idea. We knew Marsden was Famke Janssen. Holly Berry, of course, we knew who she was. But McKellen might have been new to some people.
For sure.
Patrick Stewart obviously knew who he was.
Yeah, he'd been fan cast for a decade.
Right?
Yeah.
So I guess there's a bit of that. I guess as it's gone along, maybe we've gotten to know more of the casting. But to be fair, when you think of like Days of Future Past, we knew Iceman because he was in the previous movies, but again, the rest I couldn't tell you the name of the actor's name who played, was it Sunspot?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Right? Or Blink? I couldn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you that.
Yeah. I couldn't name any of them.
Anyway, so there you go. So I guess you're right. I'm having like old dad reaction to these. I don't know any of these people.
That's what you are.
Except when you actually think back when they've announced casts, you're like, oh, I don't know a lot of these people. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, one of the nice things is I don't think they were going to cast movie stars. They were looking for young actors that they could have for a decade to play these parts. Right. And the more that an actor brings with them from, their resume and fan culture, the more baggage they bring.
Yeah.
And all you need is a couple anchors. I mean, having Adam Driver as your heavy, it's like, great. Now you're good. I'm going to go just to watch Adam Driver do his thing. And, I have zero. Well, no, I don't have zero. I only have negative feelings about Mr. Sinister as a character because, again, I only read the Claremont run.
Right.
And he wasn't a fully fleshed out character. He was ridiculous. And so I'm looking forward to having another version of the character show up in my consciousness, portrayed by someone who has incredible craft. And I'm like, I'm all in. That's great.
Now, are they announced? I mean, obviously there'll be more characters, but is this like here's the first group?
Well, yes. And I look at it the same way. Marvel, I find, is very strategic. If you're going to make the announcement, the fact that they've said the date and given you a very high-profile actor in Adam Driver, a franchise anchoring actor.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you will about the 3 Star Wars movies he was in. His craft was not the problem in those movies.
Sure.
You have, a couple of young, like, it kids are in this. Like, the pieces are there. So when you cast someone... If you're gonna, what's that?
Who are the it kids?
No, I mean like people who are of the moment, like say.
Oh, I thought you meant like we're in like the kids in the it movies.
No. I mean like you are it, like just of the moment.
Yes.
So you don't need to tell us if Wolverine.
You have it.
You have
but
it.
But what is it exactly? Exactly.
You don't need to tell us who Wolverine is or if Wolverine's in it yet,
right?
Because we're gonna just be okay with this.
Yeah, and it's gonna be Hugh Jackman. Who cares? It's going to be old man Logan. It's going to be great.
Oh, my God.
Right?
I feel for that man.
That's funny. One thing we did talk about last week or 2 weeks ago when we talked about Spider-Man Brand New Day was that when the reveal that, there was already some knowledge about Sadie Sink playing Jean Grey and being in the movie. We talked about it like, oh, well, if she's going to be in the cast, it's going to be a younger cast. Like it's going to be, they're not coming out of the gate with like, because think of that first X-Men movie, like they were established, a lot of them were established actors. Like they played adults.
Sure.
As opposed to younger, late teens, early 20s, however they want to play that, right?
Yeah.
There you go. And you can see it in the rest of the cast too, right? They've got, you're right. It's like 10 years of films.
Or whatever they choose.
Which they tried with the other one too.
Yes.
The Fox ones, right? The final Fox movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, hopefully we get a new Wolverine. I'm excited to see whoever else they're going to cast. I mean, it's all just for fun. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right. You want to move on to the next topic?
Let's do it.
The season finale.
Oh, this one.
My initial reaction was one of um, disappointment and apathy.
Okay.
I just stopped feeling anything because of certain reasons.
Okay.
Um, it's the only episode out of all, 19 episodes that I haven't seen more than once.
Wow.
And I usually I could watch it twice in a day or another time that week. I have not gone back and watched this a second time.
Right.
So I just didn't feel anything. And there could be a surgeon could come and dissect all of this and figure out why I didn't feel anything. And I'll get to that at the end of this thread. But tell me, what was your initial reaction?
I thought it was. I thought it was okay. I think there was some. I had some like thoughts on the sacrifice piece of it.
Should we say spoilers, by the way? Hey, spoilers, everybody.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah. So I had some, not. Yeah, I wasn't. To me, they went for an emotional finale, and I think they either misplayed it or misjudged it or chose the wrong characters to include, and I felt like they missed their target. And then there was a whole bunch of other things I had issues with. Like I could even we talked about like I could never understand even the previous episodes like why X Factor were like such jerks, like. And then, like the guys, like you have the picture there, the guy, like they're using Sentinel bodies to like try to take out other mutants, and I'm like, what the hell? Like it feels really off. It feels like there's another superpowered mutant team that like I was like, this is ridiculous, guys. Like this is why are you? I don't know. It just seemed like they had no purpose, really.
Chris,
Yeah.
They're standing in Genosha,
Right.
and an army of Sentinels descends.
Right.
Are you friggin' kidding? The X-Men should have, and X Factor should have, and X-Force should have freaked the fuck out and killed them all.
Sure.
An invading army of Sentinels in Genosha? Like, if you're not triggered by that as a mutant,
that's what
you're telling the audience that doesn't mean anything to these people.
Right.
And I don't even like it when someone wears a Montreal Canadiens jersey in my neighborhood. That's just nothing. Yeah. That's not even important. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And like they played around too much with like the combat between the teams where like so Cable's now gonna fight his parents and like not really have any emotional sense to it. He's just, I had a job to do and don't get in my way, mom and dad. We'll take you out, son. Like shit, that's what's happening. Right? Or like Havoc chasing down Jubilee's like, you got some spark, kid. I'm still gonna shoot missiles at you. I was like, you got some jump, kid. Good job. It's like, like it's one thing for like Captain America to be like, where are you from, kid? Queen, Brooklyn. But he like leaves him not with missiles shooting at him. And like,
yes, Cap wasn't fighting to the death.
No, it had all these like bizarre choices of to have these groups be antagonists with each other when really, and again, like Sentinels, I'm like, none of like you should all care about this, like, and that's what I think was. So again, I think misplayed in terms of like trying to use that as the big schmoz, right? The big like that didn't come off great, and so it was clunky. And again, like Jean and Cyclops are gonna fight Cable without there really being any stakes or understanding or conversation. Their family. I just like they just did it. They just did it for the sake of doing it. It seemed, and it didn't seem to work for me anyway.
Sure, I'm gonna go for a minute here.
Yeah. Now it's your turn.
No. I have so much of a turn. It's actually really unfair. My platform is going to be really big eventually. We'll talk about this in a minute. So I think the idea of a fight between, like a fight for the fates of things, between X Factor, X Force, and the X-Men is a really good pre-fight to whatever the
Sure.
big fight's going to be.
Right.
So it's the battle between Bastion, Mr. Sinister, and the X-Men in season 1, which then leads to the big fight with Magneto. So I can get them having their fight, and they even did have their fight against the Gambit Apocalypse thing, but it didn't feel like it was anything by that point.
It
It
was
was
over
all going to
really
end
quickly,
really,
too.
really fast. So I get the idea that these forces have to come to a head, but they did not have the weight or the gravitas of a finale. And I'll give you a comparison.
Sure.
How many marquee non-X-Men Marvel characters appeared in the season finale of season 1?
I don't know.
Spider-Man, Captain
Oh,
America,
at the end of it, right? Yeah.
Iron Man, Black Panther, Daredevil. Who am I forgetting? Did Doctor Strange make an appearance?
Yeah.
Okay, so like that's telling you that this is a really, really big deal.
Right.
Now you're going to give me a season finale at the end of season 2. You either have to match that, surpass it, or it's going to feel like a disappointment.
Right.
Because automatically a season finale gets compared to another season finale.
Sure.
So by definition, like this one just doesn't match the scope or the severity if I don't see those characters, right?
Right.
So that's one thing. And then I look back on the whole season as an arc, and I'm trying to think about, what would have maybe elevated the entire season, made it feel really, really big. And I would have, looking back, I would have liked the Back to the Future 2 of it all, which is the characters start with the same way it started. Characters get thrown to the past, characters get thrown to the future. Characters from the future defeat Apocalypse, which was way too easy, by the way. And then they come to their present, their real time. And the characters in the past fail at their mission and come back to the present, and it's not the right present because they failed in the past. Something insignificant they didn't work, and when they arrive in whatever 1998, in the 90s, it's not the right 90s. And for the rest of the fucking season, they're in the Age of Apocalypse. Like they're in the dystopia, and we have to like spend some time there. Let it hurt. And then some of and make it a huge, huge sacrifice to get back to the past to fix it. Right. But they have to go do that. They have to spend a chunk of the season in the wrong reality. And then they go back to the ancient times, fix the thing they didn't do right, correct Xavier for making the wrong move or Magneto for making the wrong move in the past, and they come back and then they have to deal with something in the to end the season or whatever it is. But it just the whole season, I think they didn't really give Apocalypse the weight and the seriousness that this character is supposed to deserve, especially considering there is this Age of Apocalypse storyline sitting there from the 90s that all you guys love. Like it's just waiting for us to play with, and to sort of hint that it's coming and then never deliver on that, I think was a massive mistake. And they haven't made it so that we're getting the Age of Apocalypse next season either. They haven't set that up. Now I'm not saying they're not going to do it down the road, because there are at least 2 more seasons coming.
Right.
But this was the setup for it that they didn't pay off. Now I had to do some research. I talked to Rick Ray at Wayside last week. And I think it was Rick, you got to correct me if I'm wrong. Was it you who was telling me how the Age of Apocalypse came about? So supposedly a character, you and I know, Legion, we don't care about. Legion goes back to the past, and he's supposed to kill somebody, but he kills Xavier he's supposed to kill Magneto, but he kills Xavier by accident. And so since Xavier is never there when he gets back to the present, it's the wrong present. So that's what does it in the books. But we don't need to have that as the inciting incident, because the X-Men are already in the past. So have them do it. Hey, Chip, have a good night. I'm fading too, buddy. That's why I just had coffee. See you later. I like how he feels this false sense that he has to stay for the whole thing. It's adorable. Chip,
Very
watch
nice.
it tomorrow on 1.5 speed. You're fine. You're fine. So, if you already had the X-Men in the past, they can already do the bungle that leads to the Age of Apocalypse. So it's built into the story for you. And Matt says, yeah, Legion is trying to kill Magneto in the past, kills Xavier instead. All good. Remember in the cartoon, there was the thing where that guy from the future with the green hair came back to like Xavier when he's at university and sets off a bomb to kill Xavier.
Yeah.
Sets off and like the
Magneto's like leading the X-Men as like rebels.
right. And so Wolverine
And
and Storm from that future come back.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's that again. Like just do that thing, but now you have it as ancient Egypt and the 1990s as opposed to the 60s and 1990s. It's Fitzroy.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you,
there you go.
Fitzroy. So I think there are lots of really good ideas they have, and I'm gonna plug next week's episode. Okay, in this moment, next week's episode is
Assassin.
Next week's episode is going to be a rewrite of the season finale. That's all I'm doing. It's a pre-taped episode, but it's going to be within some very strict rules. All I'm allowed to change is the season finale, not the episodes before, but how I would do that one differently. So it'll be a focus on making that episode really, really hum. I don't know about you, Chris, but as a creative person to my core, every time I see something that I care about, but I'm not vibing with, whether I'm working on it myself or whatever, to me, it's a math problem to solve or a little riddle to play with. I need to solve it to make it hum properly. Get all the notes to resonate. And I'm going to do a reworking of it so that I think, for me, that it resonates. And I want the deaths to matter, and I want the sacrifices to matter, and I want the action to be, the fights to be meaningful. So I'm going to play with that for an episode next week.
Awesome. I have a suggestion for you.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Yep.
And no one will ever do an episode about my episode. So that's all I'm trying to say.
Nice.
Please, Chris, what were you going to say?
Oh, I'll have to, we'll have to chat because I have a thought, but I will save it for maybe if you take.
Well, you're not going to be there, so you're going to have to tell me.
No, but you do it live, or are you going to?
I'm on a secret mission next week.
Yeah,
we have to have an episode that airs still at 9. Yeah, so I got my stuff set up to. Yeah, I'm gonna the whole presentation.
I'll tell you after the show what my idea is for sacrifice and death and things.
Part of the question: what if? With Jason. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, speaking of that, sorry, the part of the question, what if? Which didn't we see the Beyonder in an episode?
By that, do you mean the Watcher?
That's the one, the Watcher.
Yes.
Did we see him like in an X-Men 97 episode, season 2?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm having trouble remembering when.
Could it
have been when they were going to, when they went to Brazil to find
maybe
one of those guys. And he was over one of the scenes.
Yeah, and he's like in the background.
He's in space. Yeah,
in space.
It's all good. Watcher in Athens when Gamma gets revived. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So it's all meaningful stuff, but more power. I don't know if the Watcher being there means that those things get undone. It just means that it's meaningful yeah, it's a signal to the audience. Like, yeah, it's like Bad Omen. This is bad. I'll put another thought out there for this. Hey, man, like, you have Apocalypse. Where are the 4 horsemen?
Right.
For this fight, there needs to be. I mean, to me, there's more than one agent working on behalf of Apocalypse, not just one. And then I can just keep going with this.
We're an hour in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's so much here. Okay. So I'll talk about it more on the episode you'll watch next week, I hope. And everyone tunes in and tells me what a shitty job I did rewriting it. But that's
Jason's fanfic.
The fanfic of it all, right? So you get to play with it. So, all right. Should we move on, Christopher?
Sure.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's do this. Remove that. Add this. Wow.
Golden Colossus.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea that there's a fire, but it looks like
Yeah.
there's a smoke coming from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Golden Colossus. That'd be kind of cool if he
Yeah.
changed metals
Sure.
for some kind of, I don't know, power up. I don't know, whatever.
For some kind of thing.
But it does look nice on the cover.
It does.
So be it. The Uncanny X-Men, the Muir Island Saga. And we get a Jubilee and a really weird Wolverine face. The white is like, the white ink is like printed over top of the black ink on his eyes. And it looks really, really weird.
It does look weird.
Like they were painted on after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Colossus is back. So why is he trying to kill Professor X? We get a cover it by Andy Kubert. And this, I think, is his first X-Men that we're getting to read. And he has a pretty meaningful run. And is like a go-to artist for a lot of people.
Okay.
Including our friend Jerome.
And then is that his drawing school?
Oh, you don't know. I love this.
Yeah.
So Andy and his brother Adam are the child of the legendary Golden and Silver Age artist Joe.
Gotcha.
And Joe Kubert founds the school.
Okay.
And teaches a generation of pros.
Mm-hmm.
And is like, he started working when he was a teenager and is an incredibly proficient, like, drawer with a brush, has a very distinctive style. It works incredibly well in a European style too. And his Sergeant Rock is kind of in the pantheon of great Silver Age comics. And he has his sons doing like inking for him and lettering and working as pros really early on, like as 14 years old. So both the brothers go into comics, and I've bumped into their work a few times, like Wolverine Origins, that limited series.
Okay.
The Neil Gaiman one, was it called 1602?
Oh,
maybe it's called something else.
Marvel 1604, maybe.
Was it 1604? Whatever it was. Yeah, I've come across their work a ton of times. And now, of course, not Andy, but Adam's daughter is working there as well. She's, I think she's an editor. And you know what? I think there might even be, I thought we saw one of them drawing, like one of the daughters of one of the Kubert brothers drawing at some of the cons. Oh, okay. So there are 3 generations of Kuberts working in comics at some point. So, but Joe is an absolute legend. Oh, and one of the Kubert brothers, I think this one, which is Andy, I think he's the one who worked with Grant Morrison when they co-create Damien.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those issues are like keys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I will tell you, though, I do not respond to their work. It doesn't do anything for me.
Okay.
Emotionally. Yeah, I have no feelings. I'm dead inside, Chris.
Well,
let's get into this.
I could have told you that.
Yes. Stan Lee presents. Well, look at those cards. Bad to the Bone. Starring the Uncanny X-Men. Why is this issue called Bad to the Bone?
Because it's a great song.
Maybe. I want to see those cards.
You know what? I think I have. I've got a bunch. Do you still have some? Maybe we should show them.
Again, given my age, so by this point I'm 16. I'm not collecting superhero trading cards. I had collected a set when I was in grade 8, and they predate all the famous Marvel cards. They're really shitty, but I loved getting them. It was really, really fun to complete that set when I was young, and I missed out on sort of that Jim Lee X-Men stuff and all the Arthur Adams cards. And now I think they look absolutely amazing. I'd love to get my hands on sets, but it's like another thing to try and collect that would cost more money than I want to spend. But I would love to see them.
Yeah, I got some upstairs. I was gifted them, and some of them look really cool.
Ah, man. Maz says, I still have the entire set of those Marvel cards. Series 2. So, yeah, I would
Nice.
love to see Series 1 and Series 2 and whatever else is. Well, these artists, these specific artists that are working on them, like Art Adams and Jim Lee, they look really, really fun to me. And that looks like a John Romita Jr. Daredevil, does it not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Now we've got a few different people doing the narration.
I think the blue is the narrator and the yellow
Yes,
is Professor Xavier.
I would agree with you. There's going to be a lot of me reading for a stretch. So
And then the Shadow King, yeah. So,
yes, of course. So just to say, Chris Claremont and Fabian Nicieza are writers. Andy Kubert guest penciler, Scott Williams inker, which will help tie it into the Jim Lee run. So it'll have a bit of a Jim Lee finish over different pencils. And then Team Appendix on letters. Glynis Oliver on colors. Wow, welcome back, Glynis. Bob Harris, editor. Tom DeFalco, editor-in-chief. Special thanks to Jim Lee for plot assist. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Here we go. The gutted ruins of Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. The middle of the night.
I trust Xavier. You remember Colossus?
Pyotr Nikolaevich Rasputin. I found him on the Siberian collective that had been his home for most of his young life. A farm boy with the soul of a poet. Why wouldn't he say artist? We all know he's an artist, right? Did you not read these issues, guys? All right.
Come on.
But also, most importantly, in my eyes, in my arrogance, a mutant. And so, I made him a warrior.
Your X-Men is mine now. Slave, body and soul to the will of the Shadow King. His orders are to rend the lovely Ms. Hunter limb from limb. I did warn you, my dear, of the terrible price of defiance. And then, old enemy, to do the same to you.
In his armored form, which I freely confess looks much bigger than I remember, Colossus is as invulnerable to physical attack as he is virtually unstoppable. By the way, do you see a little bit? I don't know if you can see on your copy. In the lettering, there are some like lines, some like residue of the rulers that would guide the pencil.
Oh, I can't see that.
So
in
mine, I see it a little here, and it really persists throughout the whole comic. It's almost like they didn't do a good enough job erasing the pencil for the guidelines for the lettering, and
Right.
they got into the photographs, and they are in the print.
Okay.
At times. Fortunately, I rely on other assets. There, I stopped him.
What did you do?
Oh, are you Stevie Hunter?
I mean, I can be, I guess.
Go ahead. You be Stevie Hunter.
What did you do?
I used my telepathic powers to interrupt Colossus' voluntary motor functions and induce a temporary paralysis. That's why he hangs off balance, suspended in midair, despite the fact that that would not work in real life. Come on, guys. Put his leather leg down. He would fall over. He cannot stand in a running pose. Moving on. At least until we can determine how best to release him from Shadow King's influence.
Who is this Shadow King, Professor? I've never heard of him.
My eldest foe, Stevie. In many respects, the primary reason I created both this school and the X-Men. Please, open your thoughts to me. I need to know all that has
Silly, silly Charlie. Splitting your focus like that. Did you think I wouldn't notice? Oh. Or take advantage? Yeah.
Shadow King, more powerful than ever encountered before.
Do tell. Young Petey there ain't no slouch either in the power department. What do you think, Prof? He been taking lessons from the Hulk?
You can joke.
It's that or scream. Upsy daisy.
Mind won't focus.
So don't think. Just run. It won't do well any good, little rabbits. Although I do appreciate so sporting a gesture. My Colossus may not be as fast or graceful, but he also won't get tired. I won't let him stop. Hide or fight, it makes no difference. The end will be the same.
So he's on fire because he came out of a fiery truck car. So he's got
Yes,
like gasoline on him that's burning up.
I guess.
I think that's a pretty cool visual,
Yeah,
and terrifying. You know?
totally.
Yeah.
Cheery guy. Say, Prof, you wouldn't happen to have brought along any reinforcements, as in maybe the X-Men? By the way, watch your step. It's a steep drop!
Now you tell me. As to your question, Stevie, regrettably, no. By the way, do you talk like that as you're falling down a hill?
I mean, it looks like they've got it all under control.
So can you see there how weird that is, that word balloon that says, as to your question, Stevie,
Yeah.
regrettably, no?
Maybe
How the
add
balloon goes like a little down into the...
and breaks the panel because they
And-
need the space.
and right. And there you can, like, why have the word regrettably there?
Mhm.
Anyway, but can you see there the lines that would be drawn to put the word
Oh, I can
on top
actually.
of?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, so that on my copy is under the word regrettably, above the word no, and below the word no. So
Huh.
when you're doing lettering in comics at this stage, you have the special tool that marks the top of every line, the bottom of every line, and then creates a space between lines, and then the next line as well. So you kind of, to create 2 lines of text, you kind of create 3 different spaces. The first line of text, the space in between, the second line of text. And which would then be a total of 4 lines of drawn pencil. And then you're supposed to erase that pencil. But for some reason, it's not been erased well. And we've not seen that a single time in all 16 years of X-Men comics. I've never seen that in an issue. So that now tells me that they're going so fast to get this done that they're not erasing all the pencil.
Right.
All right. Maybe that will come up in the art as well. We shall see. The X-Men, I fear, are all, as the Shadow King showed us, his prisoners.
Heaven help them.
And us, for we are quite alone.
Oh, joy.
I have the access hatch to the mansion's underground complex.
Then you better crack that sucker open. Because we got company.
And I like the red hot Colossus in the night kind of stalking you. Puts his hand on the scanner, and it
Professor,
says,
he's jumping.
"Inside, Stevie, at once." I slam and lock the door behind us, with hardly a moment to spare.
I can feel that thump though when he lands.
Yeah, it's good.
Pretty good.
The angle that Colossus is coming down, he's big man. I was saying about that episode that he was in '97. I really loved the sound design of the way he echoed as he walked. It was really good. For all the good it does, I needn't have bothered. After such a violent forced entry, the interior defenses should have activated automatically. A glance at a remote status display reveals that they have been substantially disengaged. A puzzle for another day. In the meanwhile, I manually unleash the intruder interdiction systemry. I have no high hopes for success, but the attempt has to be made. At the very least, this should slow him down. I like him in this low pose where you can kind of see his junk.
His metallicness.
Sorry, I'm just joking. His legs do look a little slender, I have to say.
Yeah.
Especially his left leg. Like, that thing should be massive, but it seems like his legs are a little small. Or take his head and shrink it by a little bit to make him look bigger. He just doesn't look to proportion. I think Kubert is having trouble with that belt as well, keeping it consistent. Is it a narrow belt that can fit, on the hips, or is it coming up? Like Colossus' belt often comes up almost to his diaphragm or just under his rib cage, depending on the artist. So there's some inconsistencies with how he's drawing in this issue, but yeah, a little small. Slowed him down. Yes, enough for Stevie and me to mount a proper response. From the only space in this entire complex that has even a prayer of doing the job, the danger room.
It's him or us, isn't it? That's the Shadow King's after, where he gets his jollies? The only way to stop Peter is to kill him.
That is only for the unimaginative, Stevie. Like that word balloon is not Tom
Right.
Wojciechowski. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
a different hand than the one before. It's funny how you can kind of see that as you continue reading on. I wonder if they had to like just get some clarity from Jim Lee after the fact and about what was supposed to be happening, and then have to letter this like at the last second to try and make sense of all of it.
Maybe. I mean, he does provide the plot assist.
Sure.
Come out, comrade professor, wherever you are.
Peter's voice, the Shadow King's sing-song taunt. And then here you can, in this first narration box in panel 2, you can see all those lines.
Yeah.
That's all pencil that has turned to become part of the printing process. And I cannot help but wonder if Peter is aware of what he's being forced to do. That is the King's style. He draws sustenance from the pain and hatred, the negative emotions of his victims. The nobler soul, the more decent the spirit, the more he glories in its corruption. A feast for an insatiable gourmand.
Nothing like returning to the scene of the crime, eh, Charles? Your danger room's doing, I trust. Artfully mixing reality and illusion to replicate any location imaginable.
And for those new to X-Men comics, this is a recreation of a scene that we saw way back in the John Byrne run, where it was detailing Professor X's origin and first encounter with Amul Farouk, the Shadow King in his human form. And you see him there, sitting there in the fez hat and sunglasses.
Well, they fight on the astral
Yes,
plane, and where Charles Xavier is king.
Correct. And I believe they're in Cairo, Egypt in this scene. And the armor that Xavier imagines himself wearing on the astral plane is used in X-Men 97 season 2 as a little homage.
How fitting that for our last encounter you resurrect the setting of our first. I lived a lifetime in the form of Amr Farouk. The body served me well. Perhaps I grew too comfortable in it, too complacent. Perhaps it was the edge that allowed you to defeat me.
And there I merely assumed, all these years, the better man won.
Then, quite possibly, but not now. When my corporeal host died, my psychic essence survived on the astral plane. Tell me, Charles, will you be able to do the same? Let's find out, shall we? What a sneaky little toad you've become, Charles. Deceiving the master deceiver with a hologram. And more surprises up your sleeve. Very good, I feel the boy's pain. But if it's bad for me, how much worse for him?
He's right. I know. And it's only the beginning. The Danger Room is designed to test the capabilities of my students to their absolute limit. In Colossus's case, I push him far beyond, trying desperately to find a weakness, a means to disable or restrain him without doing him more than superficial harm. The Shadow King is my true enemy. He's the one I should be fighting, but I dare not turn my attention to him until Colossus is dealt with. The land is simply too dangerous. I don't quite understand. So Colossus punched into the ground where he thought Xavier, or the wall, where he thought Xavier was going to be. Turns out Xavier was an illusion. And then a ram? Like, it looks like Skeletor's
Yeah.
Havoc Staff
Yep.
rams him straight up in the air or something. And then he is now suspended by things that aren't touching him.
Right.
I don't quite get this moment.
It does not make sense.
So is he being is he being restrained and probed by?
Is it magnets?
I don't know. I don't get that panel, and I'm not trying to criticize. I'm saying I feel deficient in some way because I'm not able to interpret this, or I'm confident I'm not interpreting it correctly.
Right.
But anyway. And again, I can see the lines there. And I did on another panel, didn't say anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, as with the hatch, I should have known better. For although Peter is the Shadow King's slave, he is no less resourceful, no less courageous, no less determined because of it. I trained him too well. Under any other circumstances, I would be proud.
He's busting loose. Professor, the controls, they're short-circuiting. Hi, Stevie.
Busting loose.
See, like I even, like, he wouldn't even say hi, Stevie.
Well, why not?
He'd say hello.
Hello.
Hello, Stevie. I don't know. It doesn't sound like him anyway.
Yeah, it's cool that he's like coming to hunting.
That's kind of neat. Panel, last panel there, busting through the glass. You know,
he's like a scary Terminator.
Totally. Bye, Stevie.
So you have to read them together.
I know.
Hi, Stevie. Bye, Stevie.
Bye, Stevie.
The moment of truth. As I anticipated, he dropped Stevie, the better to get at me. The slightest misjudgment and Peter can break our bones like the driest, most fragile of twigs. But before he can, I plunge deep inside his mind. I'm so glad he said mind. A blazing, burning, blinding lance into a world of brimful of miasmic shadows. I hear a howl of rage. Without knowing if it's Peter's cry or the Shadow King's or mine or all of us. The Kuberts use this technique a lot. Can you go back if you don't mind?
Yeah, of course.
It's throughout this issue. So in that last panel, Peter and Charles' bottom half, they do this sort of like fade into smoke thing, where there's just these big kind of brush lines to suggest that, like, it's not that important for the eye to see, but it's kind of gets grayed out by either some debris, some smoke, whatever it is. So you see it in the panel above too, where Charles is jumping. The way that those, so it's a strategy often where just it helps focus the eye, I guess, on what's really important. But I do find it distracting sometimes how often he uses it. Anyway, moving on.
I do like that first long panel though.
Yeah,
holding up Stevie, that's great.
Totally, he looks very, very powerful.
And
then there's one of the most hot, erotic. This does not work.
Oily.
I'm sorry.
Oily.
Where is Charles' left leg?
And wrapped around him.
He's wrapped around. He's got hands gripping Colossus's torso.
He does.
Passionately. He is being embraced. Like, it is the term power bottom. Like, there's stuff going on, and this panel does not work properly, I have to say. It is hot. The flames. Ali says, "Oh, that's how you get heated rivalry." Now, this panel does not read properly. The proportion, the idea that Xavier can even wrap both legs around, like his knees.
He's much bigger than that.
Oh, come on. Like, he should be, yes, puny compared to Colossus. So it's kind of funny. Anyway. And you know what Xavier's pet name for Colossus is as lovers?
You tell me.
King. There we
king.
go. The king resists. Sorry. It's a very, I find that to be a very erotic moment. Okay. And on some levels, to my amazement, So does Peter himself. I find myself immersed in a whole new life. Okay, I'm so immature. That of an artist named Peter Nicholas. It is as though the boy had been reborn without the slightest awareness of his true self or past, and, in the process, being granted his heart's desire, the ability to express his inner vision through art, the art
Of
of love
dance.
making. Oh my God. I find a man who was happy, who had found a measure of inner and outer peace. That is, until the Shadow King claimed him. Though it breaks my own heart, I know what I must do. I must probe deeper. Sorry, I'm off script.
You can't help yourself.
Oh, it's just, this panel is so bad for this nonsense in my mind. All right. Oh, and Xavier also is great for that stuff because
He
of
is true.
the probing and the deepness. And anyway, okay. For beneath the world of Peter Nicholas lies that of Peter Rasputin, locked tight away. So tight. I shatter those locks, tear down the walls, bring Colossus once more to a full awareness of who and what he is, in the process banishing all hold the Shadow King has on him. The shock is more than anyone should have to endure, or, I think bitterly, have to inflict. As at last mercifully, my student falls unconscious. Oh my God.
Wow.
That was the horniest scene since John
Since,
Romita Jr.'s.
since Cyclops and Madeline Pryor were stranded
yeah.
on that plane in the ocean.
Oh yeah. All right. Washington, D.C. I think I am a Dr. Shen.
Yes, I think you are too.
Are you not well, Reese?
In the point of fact, Dr. Shen, I, in the traditional corporal sense of the word, am quite dead.
What? He's dead?
What?
Okay, go on.
That is why. That is why you served me, to help maintain this physicality that houses my spirit.
There's a lot of explanation here. Okay, here we go. Keep putting this kind of strain on it, Dreadlord, and you may find yourself summarily evicted. That body lives because you devote a portion of your being to maintaining its systems. Maintaining direct control over your surrogates, as you did with Colossus, diverts your concentration and your strength. Waging a pitched battle with a telepath like Xavier is infinitely worse. There's a small grace period, but stay away too long, push yourself too hard, and it will deteriorate beyond even your ability to restore it.
I stand corrected, physician. But since you raised the subject, have you a resolution?
Only the most obvious. You need a new host. That's a pretty good Jim Lee impression there.
Mm-hmm. For sure. House brand, or at least ex-book brand.
Oh, yeah. Ideally, one that has not already perished before you possess it.
In fact, I have several candidates in mind. The question yet to be answered is which will best serve my purposes. It will be a shame to lose the Jacob Reese identity. As a senior FBI inspector and chief aide to Valerie Cooper, the President's National Security Advisor for Parahuman Affairs, it was extraordinarily useful to me.
Forgive my presumption, Dreadlord, but serve what purposes? The destruction of Charles Xavier and his X-Men?
That, my pet, is business well mixed with pleasure. Fit in revenge for past defeats.
But to what end? Are we toys? Is this some game?
The greatest of games, they add, for the ultimate stakes. First, I achieve power of myself, using my mind to explore the infinite potentials of fleshly experience, and then transcend their limitations. So long as a thought remains to me, I cannot die. Then I learned to control those around me. I drew sustenance from the shadows in human souls. The stronger I grow, the wider my influence spreads.
Until the whole world is plunged into darkness?
My dear Liam, how limited, how finite how human your outlook. Why settle for just the earth when I can claim the stars?
Meanwhile, on the grounds beyond the Muir Isle Mutant Research Center, Chris, do you remember how the X-Men, they went there? Did they all go in the Blackbird? And they like landed on the outskirts of the island, and they're making their way in. Is that what you think? Am I talking crazy?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm just gonna flip back
Yeah,
because it feels like we got Colossus at the end of the issue. No, they've all been knocked out.
Okay.
They're all on the ground, knocked out, and like Moira and her crew are all standing over them.
Okay.
Or is that just in his vision? Oh, I think that's his vision. Okay, they're each like kind of heading. Oh, they dive bombed out. Do you remember?
Okay.
And Jubilee was on Wolverine's back.
Wolverine's back.
So they're each kind of like searching the island a little bit for traces of people.
Mm-hmm.
A few of them find the people fighting in the pit.
That's right.
Storm gets beaten by Legion. Banshee gets defeated by his daughter.
That's right.
Madrox fights with Gambit. Wolverine and Jubilee come across Rogue and they have to fight. And Rogue is in a really weird miscolored costume with like brown leather.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amanda Sefton shows up, takes down Jubilee, and that's sort of the end of them. So they're all kind of scattered and running around the island getting defeated. That's where we just left them.
Right.
But now we can see that Wolverine looks a little worse for wear, or at least his clothing does.
Mm-hmm.
As does Jubilee's, and Gambit's fine after fighting Madrox and probably losing or whatever. But we don't get a sense of what happened. Yeah, sorry, what did I say?
No, I just said trench coat versus trench coat.
Okay. Anyway, Pit Stain Potpourri. Wolverine? Or Wolverine? I don't even know how you say it like that. Do we have to be stinking and sweating out here? Quiet, Jubilation. The hunt is on, and I'm in no mood to be the prey.
That's so on. Change of pace, I be seen. You on the side of the winners, no?
Wolvie, you gonna let him get away with that? Gambit plays the cards he gets, girl. I deal 'em. I know it. He knows it. Chew on that cud, you gumbo geek.
Big mouth shell. Swell shut, man.
That's it. I'm gonna cram a fistful of fireworks down your pretty boy mouth. Okay. So they're at odds. They're kind of behaving in a way that seems maybe out of character.
Yes.
We already know from previous issues that Legion is sort of that the Shadow King has a hold on Legion to some capacity, and Legion is like setting up reverberations of poisoned mental stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone within proximity of this island is starting to express their darker sides.
That's right.
So I don't know how these three got together, but they're obviously not getting along well. Hopefully Wolverine kills Gambit in this issue.
Right. Well, here we go.
And we can talk about David Cutler's DMs to me earlier today in a little bit.
Okay. Do tell. Like I say, your boyfriend not long ago. Bang, you dead.
No. Let her go. She's not much in the way of prey for hunters like you and me. Prey? You better pray. Bunch of sirloin sacks ticking me off. I'm going to go join Rogue's hunting party. Where girls are girls and guys are goobers. Okay, so Rogue has a hunting party? So who are they
Who are
hunting?
they hunting?
Have they all like made peace with this idea? I don't really know what's going on, but there are hunting parties.
Mm-hmm.
And Gambit and Wolverine are obviously at odds. He pulls out some really chunky weapon that was hiding in his jacket.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense that weapon was in his jacket. Sure, okay.
I mean,
And
it's
he nearly stabs Jubilee's skull.
yeah.
Um, David sent me a DM today telling me that Gambit is one of the top 25 X-Men of all time.
Okay.
And he sent me like this video where these guys are arguing it on their podcast. They're arguing over, and 3 of the guys out of the 4 are like, for sure he is top 25. He might even be top 10 or top 5. And this one guy is like, Wolverine or Gambit is not top 25 X-Men of all time. And David says to me, that's 3 me's versus 1 of you. And I gotta say, I can't imagine Gambit not being in the top 25 X-Men.
No, I can't imagine it.
Yeah, that seems a little silly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know if there are 25 X-Men before he gets there.
Right.
But I would rank him above a certain people that came before him.
Mm-hmm.
But just because I don't love the character doesn't mean I don't think he's a good X-Man. I mean, I get that people love him, so that's totally fine. He had a cool issue, and he was, him and Jubilee hiding in the tunnels on the Shi'ar planet, and
Yeah.
I thought it was cool in that issue. Anyway,
He got a lot of cool poses.
Yeah.
You afraid no? Fight the fight. Start the big game. Shadow King says, play things be hunting for fun. You say no? Yeah, afraid. Hey? That's
okay. What does any of that mean?
What? I mean, anyway, that's, yeah.
I like this. You afraid, no? Fight the fight?
Yeah.
What does fight the fight mean?
Fight the fight. I don't know.
What I am, Cajun, is too smart for it. Too smart for what? There's still part of me left, which can say no. I haven't given in. Not now, not yet.
Lash, coward.
Don't push your luck, boy. Next time you try tossing psych-charged knives at me, you better be prepared to back it up with a lot more and grin.
Be a sure bet on.
Nothing's a sure bet, boy. You'll learn that someday. So Wolverine is resisting turning into his darker self, and Gambit is already there. Gambit is like taunting him to try and say, let's fight to the death or whatever. Let's have it out. And Wolverine's like, just simmer down there, Cajun.
So is that what this is?
They are walking around, hunting, partying, and Gambit has already succumbed to the psychic darkness while Wolverine is fighting it. Well, that would make Gambit a shitty X-Men. Maybe not even top 25.
Wow, there we go. Not even
for sure. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Huh.
I think that's what's going on.
Okay.
Or has Wolverine already succumbed?
It's really hard to tell.
I don't know, man. Hey, Jim Lee, thanks again with that plot assist. Thanks, Jim Lee.
Plot assist.
Had to get away. Can't fight the urge much longer.
Okay.
There we go. Shadow King's vibes are pounding in my skull, filling me with bloodlust. I just want to smell the sweat of fear on my prey. The hot blood taste of a fresh kill. Okay, this is getting dark. Can't let...
You nailed, old man. Round 1 goes to Forge.
Not yet, Cheyenne. Time for you to die. Okay. And if he pops those claws, Forge is a dead man.
Yeah. I don't think so, Wolverine. It's time for you to rejoin the land of the living.
Bah!
Sorry about that. The neurosynaptic buffer I whipped up does a spiffy job of blocking out the Shadow King's telepathic wavelengths. But it hurts worse than slipping on a pair of shoes 3 sizes too small. Now I just wait for you to come around and we can figure out what to do next. The answers to that one's easy, sugar. You die. a noble sacrificial lamb in the master's hallowed hunt. Rogue! Fight it, rogue! Fight the Shadow King's control. You idiot, this is what I want. I can taste the anger, smell the venom, touch the heart of evil. You have any idea what that's like? You more than you can ever know, girl. I'm sorry, child, but you don't leave me much choice. Say goodbye to your master. Pew, 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 pew.
So it's funny. Rogue gets a new costume.
Yep.
In every issue in this story, all 5
Yeah.
parts, and they're all different, and they're none of them seem to last, of course. But I love this second panel with her. It looks almost like she has one tooth, and it's like sticking out over her lip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Old Chopper.
Oh, Chopper. Whoa. Gummy Joe, what do you say?
At least I got old Chopper here.
Oh, Chopper here.
Outside of Salem Center, Westchester, it's taken us hours to stagger into town, seeking medical attention. Peter and Stevie are both emotionally and physically spent, and I've been tired for a very long time.
Professor, do you see?
Yes, Peter, something is wrong in Salem Center. The entire town appears to have been party to some kind of rioting. Wait, that noise! In front of the crowd! The mob is chasing down that little boy. Die!
Go home.
Back to Africa. Oh my God. You know, that's no. The more things change, the more they stay the same. There you go. The crowd is gripped in some kind of feral anger. Blind, unthinking, uncaring hatred. No! Stay back. Look at yourselves. This is but a child. What kind of madness has come over you?
The same madness poor Colossus only too recently enjoyed, Charles. My kind of madness. Revel in it. Luxuriate in it. I do. This is my world now, Charles. My dream. It's taken me years to achieve it. I intend to enjoy it. Do you think I'd settle for anything less? See, your children lie dying at each other's hand. Your dream is shattered. You've lost. This world is mine.
No. No!
The Shadow King is gone, though his influence pervades the townsfolk. We'd best leave, Professor.
I know. There is still much work to be done. The child, thankfully, is unhurt.
What can we do, sir? The X-Men are captive, and even you are no match for the Shadow King's powers.
We will not surrender, Peter. The Shadow King prides himself on being the antithesis of my dream. In many ways, claiming responsibility for my very founding of the X-Men. Then let us play the hand he deals us. It is time to find my first students. We need the help of X Factor. Do we have to say it? To be continued in X Factor 69.
Wow.
Nice. And then back here next month for the exciting conclusion.
Okay.
That is a half truth. All right, Chris.
Yes.
It is 10:45.
Sure.
I can show you those issues.
Huh.
I'm what? What? There you go. I can show you those issues. We can talk about them pretty quick if you'd like to. I think it's important that we do. Okay.
Sure.
Can I ask you to vamp for a minute while I set it up?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Look at you.
Here I am.
There. Nope. Nope. Okay, let me remove me.
Okay.
Somehow.
Okay.
I might have to put you back in now. Let's do that. There you
What did everyone think of that issue? Last issue of Chris Claremont's run on X-Men. I feel like they're wrapping things up really kind of conveniently. You know, Peter's now cured. Professor X can now walk. Storm's got her powers back. Everyone's back to being their regular powered up self. You know, they're kind of getting rid of all the little loose ends of going through the siege perilous. Feels like. And so now, and they're back even in Westchester. So it's back to a school. Feels very much like a cyclical thing. So, yes, I'm also glad you didn't miss it tonight. Nilo1225. Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the chat. But it's kind of a bit of it's a bit of a strange one that's his last sequential. I mean, we talked about some adjective-less X-Men that might come up. Yeah, it's all setting up for the new X-Men teams. Yeah, Mass, totally get that. It's interesting, though, just because, again, things are, you know, a number of the characters were depowered for a while. Allie, in a miniseries at Retcon, Rogue, and Gambit's past, I had them hook up on the island during that issue. Okay, all right. I do have that last issue in my comic box, but I have it because it's Mike Mignola cover. That's why I have it. But I guess, yeah, this is like, it feels like it's wrapping up, you know, this X-Men, X Factor, and yeah, setting the stage for something new with the new teams. So we are really moving on from this era. That's a little sad, I think. But same time, I guess it's trying to capitalize on maybe, well, certainly Jim Lee's involvement, even though he's going to be moving on soon. So, you know, considering Claremont's on the books for 16 years, you know, we attribute the Lee era, which is, you know, pretty seismic. But, you know, as Jason was saying last week, I think it's only a couple of years at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Sorry,
Jason, how you doing over there?
I'm doing okay. Just trying to get this to sit nicely so you can see the table.
Okay, we got 4 issues left in the Muir saga, I think.
I'm just taking a look what's on my table, getting a better view from the camera. It looks. You got to keep talking, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, keep talking, no problem. All right, so what are my thoughts on the Claremont run, you ask?
I do ask, yes.
What are my thoughts on it? You know, it's probably one of the better runs in comics that I think I've encountered. There's a lot of great creators out there that have put their stamp on the X-Men, but it does really start here. And again, even though we may have more recently, you know, maybe found some things to be, you know, things that we weren't quite as exciting as other stories, other eras. It feels weird to move on from this era. Even we make the casual joke about, you know, editing Chris Claremont, or like maybe we could, you know, parse some of that down. But then I read comics today, and it's hard to even match it up against the kind of verbiage that happened during this run. No?
Agreed.
So, the drawing cam.
Or whatever. That was what I called it last time.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't sure what was going to come out. That's a pretty awesome glare right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it this one?
There you go.
Okay, we can go with that. I can get a little more light that way. Okay, I'm going to make it the full screen if you don't mind.
Sure.
There you go. So these are the issues in this this amazing saga, which has more than one name, by the way. Sometimes it's called the Shadow King Saga, and sometimes it's called the Muir Island Saga, depending on who's talking about it when. So I thought that was a little interesting. Obviously, we started here.
Yep.
We read this one today.
Yep.
Then there's this issue 69 of X Factor, and I'll quickly flip through. And there's the last issue, which is a good Jim Lee cover, by the way. And then there is the epilogue, which is not technically part of the saga, but we can talk about it nonetheless. I know everyone, the show is going long, but it's okay. I'll go as quick as I can just to talk about it. You get some good stuff there. Obviously, you get some good artwork from Wills Portasio and Scott Williams, making it look as Jim Lee as possible at times, which I think is pretty good looking stuff. You get these panels, which are really like Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee-ish, like it's really of its moment. So there's a scene back in Washington where X Factor is getting recruited. We have not been keeping up with X Factor. So I'm going to zoom in a tiny bit because we don't need that extra space there. It's actually better to spend it on the comic than it is on the background. We got Gene and Scott wearing matching outfits at the moment, and this is a really short-lived costume. And I'm not sure if it's beloved by anyone, but they're very, very busy. They have some extra lines that aren't needed. Anyway, the X Factor team gets recruited pretty quick to dispel from like some kind of riot. Everyone's acting up everywhere because of the Shadow King stuff. It's starting to affect everybody.
So almost like Inferno.
Almost like Inferno, but of the mind. Anyway, they resolve their issues and they go quickly and talk to government people, and they meet up with, they've been recruited.
Oh.
And you get, now remember, last issue in the X-Men, there was a pretty intimate scene between Charles and Peter. And I mean, they are standing as close as two men can stand. It's pretty good. And then you get this guy back there, and that is, with his collar popped and this weird beard and hair, that's Inspector Reese.
Right.
Anyway, back on the island, Rogue is now wearing this.
Okay.
So she's wearing her Outback era outfit with a headband. Forge, he's got his head clear. She's got her head clear. Wolverine's got his head clear.
Okay.
And there's a lot of like quippy stuff they say. They make a joke like, let's go kick some Gluteus Maximus. Like the writing is, it's pretty juvenile. It's okay. There you go. They're going to go for the king himself. Elvis? Nah. Okay, sure. Shadow King he meant. That's fine.
Every X-Men comic is an Elvis joke.
And again, you get a lot of this like Jim Lee looking stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not Jim Lee, but that's okay. So they just go through the numbers of finding all the X-Men and zapping them with their new device to get them back on the team. So there's a moment of fighting, and then Forge shoots them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It just goes through the whole team. So they got Banshee back. And they give him some, toxin.
Antidote or whatever.
Yeah, antidote thing. Okay, fine. Now they got 4 guys. So they keep going. And they're coming in a submarine. They're all in the submarine together, crossing the Atlantic. Xavier is wearing this for reasons. Got very elaborate shoulder pads and straps and stuff. And he's pointing out how they should enter the island. And there you can see Inspector Reese is like got the Shadow King thing, the aura around him.
Right.
And he's like next to Xavier, not killing him. You can just kill him. There's a lot of explanation going on as to what's these matching orange outfits are so strange. Anyway, and then he explains in the basement, I have to not kill him yet. I gotta destroy him the other way. We gotta keep going. Him and Val Cooper.
Right.
And he says that is a victory worthy of decades long wait. So he's really trying to stretch this out and really enjoy the reward of destroying Xavier's dream. And the original X-Men get to have a moment with their old boss, kind of hugging and reminiscing for a moment. And that's cute. Just then they get in a spaceship inside the submarine that launches.
Okay.
The spaceship is inside the submarine.
Right. Say it again for those in the back.
And then Beast says, look at it this way, mein Freunds. That's German for my friends. If we go, let's do it in a blaze of glory. Bobby says, oh, very Bon Jovi.
Wow.
Good, eh? It's good.
Solid.
So they see them take off. They land on the island in their spaceship. They all start yelling. Because, And then they find some X-Men that haven't been changed back. So they fight. And then psychic stuff, more fighting.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, Legion.
Legion, yeah.
And then Jacob Rice does his thing where he's going after Reese, whatever, goes after Xavier. He's enjoying that. Yep. But then Val Cooper is really
Mystique.
That's right. And she shoots him in the face. And his face is on fire. And all of a sudden, Legion is free. So, I don't know. They're yelling about Polaris.
Okay.
And then Legion has like a full-on freak out.
Okay.
He's now the host of the Shadow King.
Okay.
Because the body of Jacob Reese got his face blown off. Make sense?
It does make sense.
Okay, so that's that. Now this is the ending of that saga.
It's a Pyrrhic victory.
Xavier is in this awesome spacesuit thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's cool. Who's writing this one? I think we'll find out in a minute. I think it's Fabian Nicieza on his own. Anyway, yeah, Fabian Nicieza, Andy Kubert again, and Stephen Butler is penciling as well. Inkers are us, are the inkers.
Okay.
So it's a whole collection of guys. So they're all fighting against David Haller, also known as Legion, which is Xavier's kid.
Right.
And his powers are whatever they need to be for the story. Shadow King's got him. And there's just a lot of talking about stuff and some fire. And that Russian guy is back.
Oh, the one from the Savage Land?
No, the other one that was like doing spy stuff before with Val Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like Russian Nick Fury.
Yeah.
He does have a name. It'll come back to us later if we stop. Colonel Vashin. So they've been trying to, get to Shadow King, considering him a threat since the very beginning. And then it's dad versus kid.
On the psychic plane, where Xavier is king.
Right. And Storm intervenes. And the X-Men all start gathering. There's something with Polaris, the Pencilers switch, the Inkers switch.
Oh.
And Xavier has defeated everybody. Everything is good except for he can't move.
His legs.
Yeah, his back has been shattered. Maybe that hasn't happened yet. So Jean goes in. Here we go. No, that hasn't happened yet. It goes in the psychic plane. Here we go.
Right.
Astral plane, naked, armor, fighting, giant monster. But in the real world, I don't know who's fighting here. I don't think anyone's fighting in the real world. Wolverine pops his claws. And, there are some guys that are still under the control, like Madrox or whatever.
Right.
Anyway. Gambit was still a problem.
Yeah.
They have a weird fight. Wolverine wins but doesn't kill him. Because,
Yeah. He's a good guy.
And again, the art style changes for that. This whole page is different.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that where you are.
Okay.
The detail is very, very different. Yeah. But lots of fighting on the astral plane. Moira shows up again. They zap her. So she's back. She cries. Rogue fights Strong Guy. Strong Guy again. Weird manifestation of that dude. And eventually they stop him. They get Jubilee. Sorry, they get Psylocke back. Psychic Knife. On Polaris. Lots of artist hands. I can see a lot of different stuff at play. Yeah, he's like loose, right? It's disgusting. He's out of his body. He drops. There's no place for Shadow King to go. No body left. So he kind of disappears into the void. And he has shattered Xavier's spine. So Xavier is back to status quo of being in a wheelchair.
Right.
Rogue, look at Rogue's costume now.
Oh, it's back to Savage Line.
Or less, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got Jubilee. It's a little quiet now, Jubilation. Just let it go. That's my girl. And they've got their dream. And Xavier says about his dream, he goes, it appears if I'm ever to achieve my dream, I will need all of you to walk me there.
Oh.
And that's the end. Thanks to Fabian Nicieza for the writing. Okay, there you go. So that's that issue. They had their fight, and they're all back to whatever.
And now Xavier's back to not being able to walk.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we have an issue that's sort of in the mind. Peter David is writing this. I don't know if that means anything to you, Chris. But very, this is X Factor, but it's a very different looking book.
Yes.
And I like this Wolverine there, wearing all yellow. They're all recovering. Basically, Legion is in a coma, and Xavier is recovering. And everyone is waiting around the base. Wolverine does this trick with a cigarette where he eats it.
Okay.
And it's the whole issue of everyone kind of recovering from what happened. Like one of those in-between issues.
Right.
So, Angel flying around, Colossus, and sitting around talking to Beast. It's a very Michael Golden Beast. It's very good. Xavier is going through the mind stuff. He's battling, and Scott and Jean are holding hands. Either way, Val Cooper's talking to Rogue about what to do next. Fury's in this one. Mystique and Rogue have their hello and goodbye. They make some peace. This artist has something for sure. Jubilee has some issue. I can't tell what they're talking about. I don't know what Wolverine offered her, but she says no. And she yells, "No, I won't. No way, Jose. We're a team like Batman and Robin, Siegfried and Roy, Jekyll and Hyde, Funk and Wagnall, Bert and Ernie. So just you drop it." And he says, she took it better than I thought she would. I should go back and read what the offer was or what the question was.
He's sleeveless.
He is. But I love how the pairs that she names. Do you know who Funk and Wagnall are?
No.
So when I was a kid, those were some of the encyclopedias that I inherited from the generation before me. So the name of the encyclopedias. And then Guido is talking to her she's complaining about her back being sore and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. That's it. Now take a real deep breath while thrusting your hips back. Put your arms straight over your head." She's like, "Okay, but what is this supposed to do to me?" He's like, "You? Nothing. Doing wonders for me, though." Like, what is that? So it's a real nothing issue where there's a lot of characters just figuring out their way. And then Val Cooper comes to both of them and says, "Let's form a new team." Xavier is still finding his way through the astral plane. He's got his team back. He wakes up. They're all together. He talks to Moira. She's relieved he's okay. They pass the word that he's okay. Legion, comatose and drooling. They close his eyes.
Son.
Yeah. And now what to do with 14 X-Men. And Beast says, "Huh? Bag 'em." I don't even know what that means. But this is such a weird drawing. Look at that weird Gambit.
I was going to say, what a strange...
Well, this is an artist who hasn't seen what Jim Lee did with him. He's only seen that original issue where he's drawn that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, not a cool Gambit.
Weird end picture, though. They all look...
It is so weird. So this issue is like a real nothing. Nothing actually happens in it. And it's quite strange. Now, let me get back
over here.
But how cool is that cover?
Mignola.
Yeah. But like all the guys in the back look pretty ghostly.
There we go. Let me turn this one off because it makes it a big problem. One of my kids just let one go in the hallway. That's awesome. Okay, I think I want to make sure it's not getting feedback from the other device. I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think you're good.
We're good. Okay, then this is complicated, all this techie stuff, huh? All right. So Claremont's run unceremoniously ends on Uncanny, and that is understandable. He does go on to do some scripting on issues 1, 2, and 3 of the other one of the Adjectiveless X-Men, but it really is like it's worth looking at just because the Jim Lee of it all is like incredible. He's really throwing the fastball of fastballs. It's maybe the best he's ever looked in a certain person's point of view. I'm sure it looks pretty incredible. The work on Magneto is awesome. So we should take a look at it, but not tonight. Not tonight. So to say what's coming up next week, rewriting the finale. That's next week's episode. And then we've got probably, I think, maybe 2 more that are going to be pre-recorded. We're going to put up.
Yeah.
In terms of the way the dates work out. Mm-hmm. So do you want me to just throw those 3 issues in front of the camera when you're not there? Is that okay with you, or do you want to be there?
No, I'm good. That's fine.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So next week, I'll dive deep into this, and I'll include as much of Chris as I can based on the conversation we're going to have in the next couple days.
Sure.
And then after that, we've got X-Men 1, 2, and 3 to look at. The Adjectiveless X-Men, which is like the swan song, formally of Claremont leaving, but really he's not really being involved. So it's kind of a weird thing. It's pretty weird. There you go.
Wow.
So like and subscribe, all that stuff, please. It really goes a long way. We're good. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the read-through of all the Claremont X-Men. Holy smokes. And another episode of the show. So thanks to my good buddy, Chris Hannigan. I'm not giving you the big thanks for going on this whole journey with, because the journey's not really done yet.
It's not done.
Man, almost 5 years of getting through Uncanny X-Men from 94, giant size, and then 94 all the way to 279. Chris, my friend, that is a lot of X-Men comics. I never thought we would get here.
It's an achievement.
I don't know if it is.
I think it is.
I want to thank you nonetheless.
Commitment.
It is. It's a commitment. Yes. We committed to something. It's cultural value. We have no idea if there is any, but I enjoyed the journey nonetheless. But there is much more to come. And so, again, thank you, Chris, writer of Group of 7 Most Secret Tale and Peregrine's Place Discuss.
Awesome.
Chris Hannigan, the one and only.
And I'll also say a quick thank you to new subscriber, Rommel. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. And thank you, Jason. Thanks for being the driver for this, right? I mean, you spend time every week getting things ready for me and for the folks in the chat. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm happy to do it, but mostly for you and you all out there. I mean, the people who have made themselves known to us have been awesome. They've been really, really positive. And I hope we can keep growing this show and the directions that it's going to go next.
I don't think we thought we'd get almost 1,500 subscribers on the channel over the 5 years. Just people who are tuning in or watching episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
It is. So that's really cool. I'm glad it found something. It found some people. It's been awesome getting to know, and we're still not, this is not goodbye. I'm just saying It's an awesome getting to know you all in the chat. And just like, and it's so cool. It's so cool finding community like this. So thanks.
Totally.
Yeah.
And there's more to come. More to come. We will finish up some X-Men tidbits, and then we will reposition things for something new as we go. So, in the meantime, go dig out your old back issues, your trade paperbacks, your essentials, omnibuses, DVD-ROMs, bootlegs, or hop on an app and read along with us soon. But come back next week and the week after and the week after for some more Previously on X-Men, and we will dive into it. And of course, as always, thank you, Bubs. And stay Xy. You are excellent.
Have a great one, folks.
Great community. Never would have known